Hello, my love, and welcome back to another episode of Sexy and Healing with your girl, Yoli. I am an intuitive energy healer, and I work with women who are healing from unhealthy relationship patterns, break those patterns to live a life that feels free, safe, loving, and to become magnetic to all of your desires. So let's get started. On today's episode of Sexy and Healing with Yoli, I am going to talk about how we become so disconnected from love because of what we've experienced in our lives. We become so disconnected and fearful of loving, of fully allowing ourselves to receive love as well. And you may do it consciously, unconsciously. Most of the time, it is very unconsciously because everyone desires to be loved. And consciously, you're like, I desire to be loved and I want to love. But unconsciously, you're creating scenarios that say, love feels scary. Okay, and how does this begin and how can you overcome that? When we go through something in our childhood, in our teenage years, in a relationship, or maybe even recently, that puts fear into your body where you feel fearful because you tried to love or someone that you loved hurt you so much, what begins to happen is you start to build these invisible walls around your heart. Every time someone does something hurtful to you, a little wall goes up, right? Another time, another wall, another wall. And then it becomes this big old wall of like, I'm not going to fully allow anybody to love me or for me to be vulnerable enough to really love because I've already had all this happen to me and all of this hurt and all of this feels painful. And what happens is we end up going about our day to day in life with more anger, resentment, fear. We're always on like, what is it? People watch. Things trigger us easily. If anyone does anything that even like a tad bit reminds us of somebody else, we're already like, oh, nope, nope, nope. Go away. Go away. Right? We give people very little chances. And this is all because of the root of putting so many layers in, or so many layers. Yeah, so many layers. So many walls around our heart. Have you guys seen the movie Shrek? Okay, this just like popped up for me right now. In the movie Shrek, Shrek says, oh, I'm like an onion. I have so many layers, right? And nobody peels an onion to get to the layers because the onion makes you cry and it's stinky and you're just like, I'd rather not even get to the root of this onion. Like I don't even want to smell the onion. It's going to make me cry, right? So when we have all those layers around us, we put these protective layers so that no one can actually reach our heart and get to our heart and actually truly love us how we deeply, 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 deep down inside desire to be loved. And for us to not actually love the way that we desire to love because we're scared to feel that pain and to get hurt. So it's like, I'd rather put all these layers of stinky onion around me so that people can just like go away instead of like getting rid of all of those layers and smelling like a flower. Right? I'm all right. It's these protective. It's a protective shield that we have taught ourselves for many years to put up because getting hurt feels scary, right? There's this thing where it's called the bitch face. I'm sure you guys have heard it, right? The bitch face. And people go around like, oh, that's just how my face is. Like, I just have a bitch face. Well, let me tell you something, and you might get triggered by this. You don't just have a bitch face. Like, your face doesn't just, you weren't just born with a bitch face. It's built up because of everything that you've gone through in life, that now your face, because our body and our physical appearance is a resemblance of our internal world and how we feel internally and everything that we've been to and everything that we've built up and everything that we carry. When you start to break down those layers and you start to heal all of your shit and you start to tapping back into love, you no longer carry that bitch face. You no longer have all these stinky layers of onion to keep people away or all these brick walls. Your body naturally starts to shift. It starts to look healthier. You shine brighter because you don't have all those walls anymore. You don't have that bitch face anymore because now you are tapped to a different energy. It's no longer the energy of I need to protect myself all the time, so go away. And this is just how my face looks. I'm sorry, my face, I just have this bitch face. It's just who I am. You go from that to shifting to a lighter energy, a higher frequency, which is the frequency of love. Of like, you know what? I have been hurt and I've gone through all this and I've been able to heal all of my shit and recognize that it is my responsibility to heal all of that, right? Because it is your responsibility to heal all of that. No one is going to come and heal it for you. And I've shed all those layers and I've broken down the walls. And now my bitch face is gone because I don't feel like I need to be like, I can be like this. I'm going to share a story about me having a bitch face because I was one of those people. And I remember being proud of having a bitch face because to me, it was, yeah, like I have a bitch face. I don't know. That's just, I don't try to have a bitch face. That's just how I am. Did I realize that I had so much anger that I was holding on to? No, I didn't. I didn't realize it. When I started healing, then I realized, oh shit, I had all this anger and I'm over here like, this is just who I am. There was this time, and I remember this so clearly because after I healed it, I was like, damn. I was sitting on BART. BART, for those of you who don't know, it's a train that takes you from like one city to another. Well, actually, there was different instances, but let me tell you this one, okay? There was different instances where like I was proud of myself for this. I'm sitting on BART and then like no one wants to sit next to me, right? Like the seats are pretty much full. No one wants to sit next to me. I'm sitting on my seat with a straight face. I look like I was ready to fight somebody. Like I wouldn't want to sit next to me either. Did I think any of it? No, I was just like, hell yeah, people don't want to sit next to me. Good. I don't want anyone sitting next to me. That's really what I was thinking. Like, I don't want anyone sitting next to me. Yeah, these people better be scared because I was like in that type of mindset. And I'm just sitting there looking around like, wow, nobody wants to sit next to me. I felt so proud of that moment. Like, hell yeah. All these people are scared of me. No one wants to sit next to me. Because I had like that bitch face, right? And I was carrying so much anger. I had gone through all of this shit that by now I was at a point where I was like, I don't give a damn. Like if some like at this point I don't care, right? At this point, like I wanted to look like I had a bitch face and I was angry and this and that. But did I consciously know, like, hey, Yoli, it's because you're angry and you're holding on to this anger and that's why, like, you feel like this is normal? No, I didn't know all of that. I just thought this is who I am. But what happened was throughout the years, I built all these walls. I built all these walls around my heart to where I wanted people to not want to come around me. Because when I had people come around me or when I had certain interactions or whatever, like, I've had my experiences with people, right? I had my situations with people to the point where I was like, it's like you build all these walls, right? From all the shit that you go through. And one day, after like, I want to say 2 years of healing a lot of this anger that I was holding on inside, I remember going for a walk around the park and actually smiling. Like I was smiling going on my walk and people were smiling back. And I was like, oh my gosh, people used to never smile back at me. Like they would just not even make eye contact and I wouldn't even make eye contact either. Or if I did, I had such a serious face that of course no one was going to smile at me. But now, because I began to slowly break down those walls and peel back those layers, that I began to feel lighter. I began to feel safe to smile at strangers, to smile at others. It began to feel safe, something that before never felt safe. Before it was, don't be nice and kind, Yoli, because people will fuck you over. Or people will hurt you. You have to be mean and you have to put on this front in order to not get hurt. That's really what I had built. It took time and healing to remove all those layers to be able to then, you know what, I can smile at a stranger and feel safe doing it, not feel forced. Because there's a difference when you're trying to force yourself to be like, hey, oh, what the, it's so dumb. I used to think that stuff was dumb. I used to think smiling at someone was dumb. Like, why would I want to go around smiling at people? Ew. But it was because of all the pent up anger that was built in me from my experiences, right? I was always a kind person and I always loved to love. But there was situations where I would love and it would backfire on me or it would hurt me, or people that I loved would do things to me and I'd be like I need to be mean to protect my heart, right? I had to feel like I needed to be mean to protect my heart. When I realized that I didn't have to be mean, because, and let me tell you this, every single person on this planet Earth is going through their own fears, through their own challenges, through their own anger, through their own resentment, everyone. So when you realize, hey, you know what? They hurt me, but I know they're going through their own shit. I know they're fighting their own demons. I know they went through some shit in their childhood. And they don't know how to connect back to love. That was like a huge awakening for me when I began to see that I wasn't the only one that was going through it. Everybody was. And some people do hide it with being like extra, extra nice and sweet to everybody, and they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, and they want everybody to see them as like this perfect angel. And deep down inside, they're fucking going through it. And then there's others who are like mean and they don't give a fuck and da da da. And that's how they're going about it, right? Everyone goes about it differently. And when I realized that, it opened me up to so much. When you realize that you have gone through your own things and only you can break down those walls and those layers from your heart that you have built up, and realize that all those people that hurt you have their own walls up and their own layers up and their own fears, you can begin to say, hey, you know what? I can either choose to continue to live like this and be angry at everybody, or I can start to remove those walls from my heart and begin to actually love the way that I desire to love, and to allow love in the way I desire to let love in. And I don't have to change anybody. You don't have to go and get someone help and be like, you need to heal. No, you need to heal your own things, because guess what? When you start breaking down your walls and you start to let that green light, okay, have you seen Moana? I love Moana. I love the first one, not the second one. The first Moana, I am in love with that movie. Tafiti, she is a great, great example of how when you're disconnected from love and you become so angry that you're okay with your energy destroying. When Moana put that green thing, which to me is a representation of the heart chakra, because the heart chakra is the color green. When she put that green pebble into Tafiti's heart, what happened? Flowers bloomed, grass, love. The world became green, life. It was no longer about hurting and destroying, but it was more about creating. Oh my gosh. I'm about to go watch that movie because it's so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You're going to understand what I'm talking about. And if you have seen it, you're probably like, or you probably already knew this, right? Like you're probably put the pieces together, was like, yep. When we allow that green light of love to start making way through all the walls that we made and start breaking those walls down, what happens? You will feel lighter. You will feel free. Your face expressions will automatically change. Like you don't have to change them. Your facial expressions will automatically change. Your body will change. You will shine brighter, because how you feel internally represents how you look externally. It's huge. And maybe I'll make a podcast on that another time, about like our features and our internal world and our external world. Okay. My tablet shut down for a little bit, but we're back. We're back. Your heart, love, is the highest vibrating frequency in the universe. The more love that we share, that we feel, the more it ripples out and it makes a dramatic change in our lives and in others' lives, especially those that are closest to you. They will feel the energy. They will feel it. You don't have to physically change anything. You don't have to go and tell people anything. They will feel it because energy is everything, right? You feel people's energy. You feel people's energy. People feel your energy. You don't have to know that somebody's going through something, but you can feel their energy when it feels like, oh, okay, I don't know, but I don't really feel like they're very welcoming, you know? Or this person is very, very welcoming. Like, are they doing okay? Like, you know, you can feel people's energy. And you can try to mask and say, oh, my heart is so open. But internally, you're still afraid to fully allow yourself to love, to receive love, right? You want someone to show up a certain way for you, but then you're wondering why they don't because your energy is repelling it, right? You want to love a certain way, but it feels scary and you're like, I don't know why. Because you're holding on to so much trauma and you've already created so many walls around your heart. So, what do we have to do? Begin to recognize where you first felt like it was painful to be loving and kind. Where did it begin to hurt? Connect to that. Feel those emotions. What's going on there? And recognize and realize that we are all capable. You are more than highly capable of breaking down those walls. You weren't just born with the bitch face. You weren't born with all these layers of walls around you. God didn't make you like that. God didn't say you're going to be born with a bunch of walls around your heart so that you can't love and nobody can love you. No. We were born loving. Like, children don't know anything but love, right? Babies. They are love. They don't know anything else until society, parents, friends, whatever, the schools, you know, begin to hurt. And then that's when the fear comes in and the walls begin to build. And then you're like, no, this is just how I am. I've been like this my whole life. You weren't born like that, though. And you can get back. You can reverse that. Everything is reversible. Everything is healable. You can reverse it to then begin to live your life feeling free, safe, and you'll become more magnetic to what you actually desire. And when you attract the things that you desire, it will feel amazing for a lifetime. Not just a month and then you're like, I still feel shitty. No, you're going to feel it for a lifetime. Because you're no longer trying to fill a void. You now just feel it. That's just the way you live, and that's just the way you are. Okay, my love. I love you. I love you. I love you. I know this was a lot to take in. I know. I know. Just take some deep breaths in and out. Re-listen to this if you need to. Reach out to me if you feel like you need some more support or you need some clarity on some of the things that I talked about in this episode. And have a rest. Have a rest. Yeah. Have a beautiful, if you need to take a rest, go take a rest. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I love you.